what the president, when he received the BBI report from the task force, and of course you've just had the deputy president says that this is what every Kenyan wants. We're now opening the phone line 0719-012-700. We'd like to hear from you with the recommendations in the BBI report. What do you have to say about this? You had the president say that he wants this one to go to every single Kenyan out there to discuss, tuseme tuko na hii hatutaki, hii itatusaidia, hii haitatusaidia, so that we agree if we want to adopt this. Now remember, there was another task force that was led by Ekuru Court, and they proposed, it was called the Punguza Mzigo. We actually discussed it. There were some interesting recommendations in that thing, including how they were going to deal with corrupt individuals. And you see also...
they were a bit harsher than snitching.
Them they were saying 30 days uanze, by 30 days they have reached the conclusion of the case.
Decided.
But we sitting here yesterday with Dr. Alfred Butua, and he said that might be just a bit unreasonable, maybe 3 months. And so BBI, of course, has come out and said, in fact, on top of that, we're going to give 5% to the whistleblower. So call us up, 0719012700. What do you feel about this? Have you read the report? If you haven't, remember to buy the Standard newspaper today. It is there highlighted, and you can be able to understand what's going on. Another thing that was highlighted on that, I'll tell you from me when I watched the handover.
Yes.
And there's one thing that was mentioned, that the youth of Kenya feel that they're not included in national matters. And then I looked at the task force.
Maybe the youth was expected to attend the meetings chaired by that task force.
That's what I'm saying. Why don't you engage youth from the beginning?
Be a part of from the behind the scenes.
We're 70% in the nation. Why aren't we involved? I don't know, man. Call us up, 0719-012-700. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We're great. Who are we speaking to?
I'm Faith Moffat.
All right. Okay, we lost him there. Mike Shahira, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I've not read the report. I'm just listening it from you. We should address the persecution of the youth.
Yes.
The youth today are being persecuted. They complain of being harassed by the police every day and all the time.
Yes.
From year long time as time goes by. We should have creation of jobs. Yeah.
All right. So there is a recommendation. There are some recommendations that have been made to ensure that the youth can be able to empower themselves, which are in the report, including...
it says on the top page, the first one is tax holiday. This one is actually targeting young people. It says tax holiday of at least 7 years for new and small businesses to support youth entrepreneurship and job creation. I've not exactly seen the one about police brutality.
Yeah.
But our constitution is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Some of these things can actually be done even
in
without
the constitution.
This report.
Yes.
So the law provides for that. It's a matter of implementation.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Call us up 0719-012-700. The BBI report is out. It's making major recommendations on the constitution. And of course, every single Kenyan needs to know about this. Tricks, Brian, my biggest challenge is that I feel that as everything goes in this country, politicians will be the first to understand this thing.
Oh, yes.
And then you can imagine if you're a young politician right now and you're trying to make a name for yourself. What's the first thing you do? Go to a media house, find an audience, even if it's a church somewhere, and start speaking BBI.
Yes.
Sure.
And by the time this information it reaches down to the common wananchi, it has been politicized.
Right.
So if you're addressing, corruption, you'll be like, wanataka kutufunga. And so someone doesn't know that what they're saying is whistleblowers will get 5%.
Yeah.
True.
So how do we get it to the people? Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, who are we speaking to?
Yes, my issue is on the corruption.
All right, you need to reduce the volume on your TV, tafadhali.
Yes.
All right, yes.
Yeah, what am I saying? I'm saying my issue is on corruption.
Please, you need to reduce the volume on your TV so we can hear you. Call us at 0719-012-700. Good morning. Hello. All right, network issues. But remember to call us up. We've got Russ Ryan on the studio. Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, this is Ryan.
And I've also not read the BBI. But there's a question. Okay, there's something that I've been asking myself. Is it something that would be very helpful, or will it turn out to be another white elephant? Because okay, the way it's being put, it seems like it's a benefit to the common mwananchi, but at the same time, it seems like these big people want to hide, behind it.
How exactly?
Okay,
Like,
Ryan.
Sorry, yeah.
Part of the conversation we're having here is
Yeah.
Kenyans. Every single Kenyan needs to
Yeah.
read this thing for themselves.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You need to read it and understand
Yes.
it. So
Exactly.
what we want, Russ, what we need recommendations to dear Mr. President on how this thing can be brought to you, for you to understand it. For watu
Yeah.
wako mashinani, mtu asome ndio isikue politician anakuja kukuambia juu ya hii document. All right.
Yeah.
He's asking a question that I think a lot of people are asking right now. Ephantus, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, my dear?
We're great.
Now, tell me, there is item on devolution
Yes.
that was talking about devolving, to bring about a secretaries on health services. Is there something like that?
All right.
So what they've said is that they want a transfer of duties from the national government to the county governments to be followed by a transfer of the monies, so that
Yes.
you can reflect that burden with what monies you're given, and therefore the cash has been upped from 5% to 35%. But this will have to boil down to implementation and you approving these changes if we actually come to a referendum.
Does that make
So
sense?
there's nothing about the health.
So
about
health
the
is a devolved
services.
function right now. It
Yeah,
was
it
moved
is
from
a
the
devolved
national
function.
to the yeah. So if this were to
I've
be
seen that there's something I read that they want to come up with I think a minister to head the health services, or a secretary, something like that. I didn't get that. Maybe you can check and see if it is there.
All right. Ephantus, we're going to urge you again. Make sure you get a copy of this document and read it yourself. So, make sure you grab a standard today. Thank you so much. All right. I'd love to hear recommendations on how, because, and first, before we go back to the phone lines, I'd like to hear from you guys. Every single time there's something that involves the whole nation. We've seen from Huduma Number, this year has been a national exercise here. We've done Huduma Number, we've done census, and when it comes to civic education, people understanding why or what they're doing, it's been very scanty.
Yes.
This proposals are so that we go to a referendum and change the constitution. But how sad would it be if nobody, not majority of the people actually don't know the document?
That is the biggest tragedy that could happen as far as BBI is concerned, because even with it being in the papers, there are certain people that don't know what ex-official is, or those things, why we are changing from CS to cabinet ministers. There are certain terms that we need it to be broken down to the grassroots level, even be taught to the people in mother tongue, so that they can understand, for those who do not understand, or in Swahili. So there has to be concerted efforts in bringing this knowledge and breaking it down and making people understand it and depoliticizing it. Because in the paper yesterday, as I said earlier in the show, there's a politician who said, I was invited to the function, I decided I'm not going. You see, that's a person who is already against it.
That's his personal opinion.
Yes, exactly. And if there's a mamboga or a local who is just looking to him and only understands the local language that he's speaking, if he says things like this to a crowd down there and they are following him, they will automatically be against it. They don't understand they can earn 5% of 10 billion if they snitch. I mean, there are things that they can actually get out of it if someone without unbiased, just neutral, comes to the grassroots level and explains it to them, so that they can understand this is good for me, or I do not agree with it, and therefore I'll vote a certain way.
I'm sure as long as the youth understand it and they are willing to let's say, accept it or even make a couple of adjustments,
Changes.
we are good.
Because-
Because we literally rule the country.
Yeah.
And there's a footage I saw online yesterday. And it was an old guy who said, as long as Ruto amekata hii kitu, hata mimi nakata.
Wow.
Akiitikia, mimi naitikia.
We need to
So
change
them, they're
those.
just waiting for politicians to say yes or no.
All right.
Once they agree or disagree, yeah.
All right, we're
that's
going to
a
go to the
decision.
phone lines. We want to hear from you. How do you propose that this BBI report gets to your grassroots, in your village, in your community? How can we disseminate this information for everyone? Good morning, Jackson.
Jackson hapa kutoka Nyeri.
Sema Jackson.
Sasa nataka kuchangia hii sasa hii BBI kuje.
Aha.
Nimekia ni mzuri sana.
Mm.
Na mimi naweza sema sasa kiendelea watu watajua ni nini iko kwa BBI.
Na nikuulize Jackson, hiyo civic education kama hapo venye uko Nyeri, what is the best way to disseminate information? Yenye si politician anakuja kuwaambia, yani ni government inawaambia. What is the best way?
Government inajitolea.
Uh-huh.
Kama vyenye unaonaga tunafundisha maneno mengine kama ukienda kuchukua loan unafunzwa maneno mengine, unaelewa, hata kibiashara huwezi anguka. Sasa ndio nataka tuelewe.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. That's Jackson from Nyeru saying that massive civic education is important.
Yes.
Please, can you name one time we have been really good at civic education? That's the reason we're having this
Remember.
conversation, because at the end of the day, if we don't do proper civic education, this document, kuna watu wengine hawatajua. Good
Maybe
morning.
okay.
Good morning.
How are you?
Yeah, I am John from Katalongai. Issue yangu ni kuhusu corruption. Tukiangalia Ekura Ukot bill ilikuwa imesema kuhusu deal na corruption kama kwa muda wa siku 30. Lakini hii haijatupatia the specific times ya kuinvestigate na kuprosecute about corruption. So kenye naweza sema ni hivi, kama itarecommend ya kwamba corruption tunaideal nayo kwa muda fulani ambao usiopita miezi 6, na unajua corruption mingi huanza kwa ministries na hizi private companies ama sekta za serikali, huwa idiliwe na miezi 6, na huyo mwenye the head of that parastatal or the ministry is held responsible because he oversees every function of the government in a certain parastatal or ministry. Hiyo ndio mimi naangazia sana, sababu that is what is eating Kenya.
All right. Thank you so much, John.
Yeah.
That's John from Rongai. There's something they mentioned about putting everything on the digital platform, all services on a digital platform, which could reduce corruption. But we have seen IFMIS.
Even
Cash went missing.
Even
Even the
the past
roads,
election, you remember the numbers?
Yes.
They were just there.
the roads
Yeah.
in
doing
terms
their
of
own
kilometers that have been done. Then
Yeah.
unaangalia huko, the name even in your hood, and when you go and confirm, it actually is non-existent.
Yeah. So again, I'm urging Kenyans, please call us up 0719012700. The report is out. It will need you to read it yourself. But then you've had our listener right now, John, who's called and said, we need civic education.
Yes.
Venye unafundishwa, kama kuna vitu zingine Kenya hawezi kosa. Uliza Mkenya yoyote, hata mwenye ako mashinani, M-Pesa inatumiwa aje?
Yeah.
Anajua.
Anajua.
Why don't we do civic education to that level? If we really care about nation building and making sure that every Kenyan is involved, because some of the recommendations in this thing are great.
Pretty good,
We all know that the enactment of it, the actual making sure that it's getting done, will be the challenge. But if every Kenyan knew, don't you think things would be different?
I hope the church also gets involved in this.
Yeah,
right now venye kila mtu ajua twatwa, hata BBI wajue.
Wajue ni nini.
Hii kitu ingetembea katwa. Good morning. Habari asubuhi. All right. Call us up 0719012700. Good morning.
Good morning, business. I'm speaking from Kangware.
Hi, Nelson.
How comes that these youths are not getting the BBI reports well?
What do you mean?
Okay. This I've heard you saying that some youth are saying I follow what Ruto says. If he says it's right, if he says it's wrong, I'll just follow the BBI report. Okay, let's youth read this BBI report and get the whole information about it, okay?
Yeah. Nelson,
Okay. Yes?
we're asking, how do we get the information to you?
I rather do it because it's being released on public today. So we youth can just check on our website because it will be spreading all over.
But how many youth have access to the websites?
Hey,
Think
that
about
won't,
Internet.
Think about your ushago,
Yeah.
your grandmother.
Yeah.
How do you want her to learn about this BBI report without a politician coming to tell her about it?
That will be rather challenging, yeah?
All right, that's what we're asking. Thank you so much, Nelson. That's Nelson from Kawangware. Guys, that will be the biggest challenge.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Hello?
Ready to participate in... Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're on Vibes
Yes,
Radio. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
We're
We're
great.
good.
Who are we speaking to?
Napiga simu. My name is Steve.
Steve, unapiga kutoka wapi?
Kutoka Diani.
All right. Changia mjadala leo.
Nachangia mjadala kwa kusema kwamba this is now me personally from what I've received from you guys and all over. There is very little hope, guys.
Why do you say that?
Okay, because when you talk of equal representation, in cost, maybe the leader in cost in one of the positions that are created, deputy prime minister, blah, 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 blah. Most of our leaders, ladies and gentlemen, they go there, and I'm saying most of them, on their own behalf. And you know this very well. The governor, when the governor goes there with the mind of his family members, blah, 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 relatives. You see? So for me, it's not an issue of changing the law. It's an issue of being responsible as a leader. Why can I be a leader who is taking care of everybody?
Yes.
Must I be a leader ambaye nitachaguliwa kwa kabila fulani, nilinde kabila fulani? Kwa nini siwe kiongozi wa nchi ambaye naweza kushughulikia watu wote kwa pamoja? So we're going to change this thing. We already have good laws. Corruption has been there, and even after changing the law, the hope, guys, I'm a bit disturbed. Is very little.
Okay.
All right. That's Steve from Diani.
I actually feel him.
Yeah.
Because it brings us back to the question of how do you legislate ethos? Because that one would boil down to the individual's, own need or initiative to say, you know what, I'm not the leader of my tribe, I'm a leader of this region and this, area. So it boils down to that.
All right. Keep calling 0719012700. We'd like to hear from you. How do we then make sure that every single Kenyan knows what's in this BBI report and makes their own decision? Good morning.
All right, keep calling 0719012700.
Huyu amepiga kujisikia. Good morning.
Niaje wase?
Fiti sana. Mwenzetu nani?
Naitwa Ibrahim Kamau, mimi ni kiongozi wa vijana Katondo South. Kwanza ni kuambia heko sana kwa venye hizi mjadala mnatangaza kusaidia vijana kuelewa constitution.
Asante.
Kuhusu gavana nimekuwa nikifollow hii show yako.
Asante sana.
Asante sana.
Na naipenda sana juu ya hiyo kuenlighten ma vijana.
Asante.
Na siku moja muni-invite huko.
Sawa Ibrahim. Salimia wa youth wa Gatundu.
Gatundu South kwa Uhuru. Sasa point yenu ilikuwa gava ifundisha watu kuhusu BBI ndio watu waelewe ni nini.
Yeah, because we saw Punguza Mzigo ilikuja, it had great recommendations, but it died a flat death without Kenyans even.
Mostly because of politics.
Yeah. So how do we then ensure that ifikie wase kabla the people make the decision and not leaders?
Mimi kumali nimesimama muanga civic educator, nimeengagewa na Youth Alive Kenya. Na venye walianza kama venye walienda Mombasa of Kenya, hiyo ni njia ya kwanza. Sasa hiyo ndio step ya kwanza. Sasa hiyo ndio itafikia mashinani, wale wa viongozi walichaguliwa au si politician. Sasa vijana kaa sisi tukiengejiwa, mimi ndaenda kwa boda niongeleshe vijana wa boda, niende kwa watu wa Kware tuongee nao, niende kwa makanga tuongeleshe na ile lugha wanaelewa, mimi naongelesha nayo. Hiyo njia Urezo amepitia, I think hiyo ndio njia sasa anaelekea kufika hapo sasa.
All right. Thank you so much, Ibrahim. Speaking of civic education, I asked a question, when was the last time, or when was there a time we did great civic education that everyone knows about? You remember 2010?
Yes.
You remember 2010? Every single Kenyan knew about, the Constitution.
Yeah.
And we needed to be that or even more. Because especially now we know 47 million Kenyans are in this country all across. We need every single Kenyan to know about this. As we wrap up, good morning.
Yeah, hello Vibes FM.
What's up? Who are we speaking to?
Yeah, it's Kelvin from Kibra. Yeah, and I think the only way that the government should use to pass this message of BBI to all people,
yes,
is only by sending these people messages. I think that is the best solution because majority of Kenyans are using mobile phone, even if it is not a smartphone, but at least unaona ukitumia messages, utapata information. Alafu tena using these radio stations, tunajua these radio stations ziko na all languages.
Yes.
Napa hivyo. Joto unaona shosho mwenye kuko ndani ushago. Dada tu language yake akisomea hiyo BBI.
Ni kweli.
At least wana take 2 or 3 hours wana explain what BBI means. By that, if they don't explain, a lot of people Kenyans are only going to work. Naona time ya BBI wasipo forced to ielewe. And as you know, mimi naona tu satisfy to majority of people in the government. Lakini watu wa chini, I don't think they'll get the information.
All right. Thank you so much, Kelvin. That's Kelvin from Kibra, raising a very interesting point.
Yes.
And that was also my recommendation. Why don't we use technology?
Or have an internet sort of platform that does not require internet connectivity. You can just find the document there in its entirety and you can read it for yourself in whatever language.
Forget even the whole document. You see, like there's a guy who called from Nyeri.
Yes.
And he said, look, we are going to go down to the mashinani and discuss this. But like the way there are all these messages for comedy, news alerts. Si mtu anasoma hapo ndio anasema umesikia nini imefanyika. So why can we break down this BBI? Break down every day. Every single Kenyan is receiving a text message.
The scary thing is that KCP happened juzi and every region did KCP.
Thank you.
Hakuna place hawakufanya KCP kwa sababu wako na information ati KCP imekuja ikaenda hapana. They use the same tactics.
All right, Emmanuel Musila, habari asubuhi. Emmanuel.
Yeah.
I think his network there let down. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, this is Vibes Radio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Habari asubuhi.
Unaongea na Moses?
Moses, wapiga kutoka wapi?
Napiga kutoka Kakamega County.
Yes.
Is that Vibe Radio live on KTN?
This is Vibes Radio live on KTN.
Okay, sasa mimi nimewafuatilia sana mazungumzo yenu. I'm Moses kwanza from Kakamega County.
Yes.
Now, hii PPI ni venye wengi ambao wamepiga simu hapa wamesema kuwa kama ni mwananchi Wanjiku atafaitika vipi? Kuna wale watu ambao wako mashinani na hawajui Kiswahili, hawajui Kiingereza, ni wale watu ambao tu wamezoea lugha yao, lugha ya mama. Hao watu tutawasaidia vipi at least wakuwe kuelewa ripoti ambayo iko kwa PPI. Na sasa naona sasa wamesema Uhuru amereceive hiyo PPI report. Now what is the next step? Ni kuwa anataka kuweka saini kuwa vile vitu zenye ziko ndani they are right ama akatae. Sisi watu wenye hata mkisema tutumiwe message as the social media is to idea. Many people huku mashinani they don't have smartphone. So mimi hata huyo mama mwenye anauza mboka hapo, mama mwenye ako tu kwa anafanya ukulima, ana simu, ana smartphone, lakini sasa hiyo BBI tumepitisha na hizo vitu labda hajasoma hata Kiswahili hajui. So tujue tu tutafanya namna gani at least. Maana unajua watu wenye wako kwa social media, they have radios, they have TV, wanaweza soma hizo vitu na waelewe. Na unajua imeongelewa in English and they have not gone to school. You see? Tunajua sasa kama ni mwananchi atakuwa ameumia, atakuwa hana lake, ndio nasema mnyonge sasa hana haki. Na sasa wakisema tuseme the politicians, hebu nimalizie kidogo, the politicians wanakuja. Wengine hata hawakuji wakati tuliwapigia kura na wakaenda huko wapi? Nairobi. Sasa hatuwaoni, watatuelimisha lini? Moses from Kakamega County leo.
Thank you, Moses. Thank you, Moses. I think there's a lot of things we can demystify for Moses. One, that it will not go without people knowing about this. So it's not like Uhuru has received it and now saying, this is law. That's not what's going to happen. It's going first. The first thing, he's received it. Today at Bomas, leaders from all across the country, and I'm not talking about political leaders, leaders from church leaders to your local community leaders. Watu wenye ukwanga wana
WhatsApp admin.
Ma WhatsApp admin za huko. You have been called and they're at Bomas right now. Thousands of them. From all across the country, because the president wants them to understand it and hear their feedback. And then after that, those leaders are now going to their different communities to spread the information. But what we're trying to do here on Dear Mr. President, because we always make sure that we recommend to the president what the Kenyans are saying on ground. And you've heard Moses there passionately saying, and he raised the point where if this information is going to be disseminated, even on text message, think of all the national languages.
Do you remember the local barazas we used to have where the chief would sort out cases at the community level? I think we should revive
in some communities that is still happening.
It still happens. So they should take advantage of such sort of systems whereby they even speak in vernacular. The chief is trusted by the people and they are not politically inclined so that they can actually interpret this document. The locals that Mama Mboga you're talking about, so that they can understand it. And when it comes to voting, it's not the chungwa banana things we were seeing in 2005. It's from an informed place.
You know what I'd love to see? Even neighbors, muko neighbors watu wawili in the same community. But fine, there are things you do not agree. Na mkienda kudiscuss, hata kama mko neighbors mnasema mimi hiyo pali wamesema 5% hapana, mimi nataka ikuwe 10% kwa sababu watu wametusinya. You know? And then the neighbor there anasema hapana mimi sitaki, and it's still a civil conversation. Kenyans, we have to make sure that we read this as we wrap up. We have to make sure that you read the BBI report. I'm going to tell you today, all major newspapers, including the Standard, has a summary of the report, but the full report will be out.
Yes.
What are we recommending to the president?
I feel this should be disseminated, not just a brief in the paper, but leaflets given out for free at public venues, the way you give our magazines at supermarkets and places where people can pick it up for those who can read. And then the barazas should be put in effect. And then take advantage of the internet connectivity in this country. It's at, I think, 41%. Make it available online or even in an offline sort of way that people can, even without your bundles, you can actually log in somewhere and read it for yourself. And then the barazas, quite important.
Brian?
Team punguza mzigo na BBI wapatane, waangalie notes zao waseme hii ili rejectiwa but wacha tusongeze hivi because this makes sense. Then also this side what we accept certain points so that we can get a harmonized thing that works best for both teams and also the whole country, because remember even punguza mzigo was accepted in certain counties, so it does not make sense.
It was just one county. One county.
And it boils down to having political clout.
Yes. But yes, at least they need to sit down and also make it easier for the people out there, because it does not make sense why censors guys were able to reach out to all the Kenyans out there. But sasa allegedly.
You say so.
Allegedly. But kuna counties zingine guys are claiming that they weren't. Okay, so information like this, everyone should be able to actually have a look at it, talk about it, then especially church leaders, because watu wa church ndio saa zingine wanachanganisha wase. Remember the immunization story where they said even the huduma number they said 666. So with that mentality, they need to take advantage of people and educate them that this is the information.
Even
and
the
just
media,
give them the
ideally
opportunity.
we can have our own bias, you know, so it should come from a very neutral
Yes, you
level.
just share the information, then you allow the citizens to digest it and
make their decisions. All right, I like what you said. Thank you so much. I just want to finish by saying, Kenyans, this is an interesting point in our lives. And how you handle the information that you receive will determine where we're going. We've been complaining about a lot of things: corruption, lack of funds, no jobs, all sorts of things going on, inequality, tribalism. There is a document here that has been proposed. It hasn't been passed as law, proposed. Where are we as Kenyans? What are we going to do? Are there some things we're going to read here and say, no, as an individual? Are we going to say, hiyo kitu imesemwa hapo ati wanasema ati nasikia? Kwanza those people who say, nasikia ati wamesema hakuna nini. Umesikia wapi? Jisome. Because there will be wolves in sheep clothing. Have I said it right? Who will come there to build their political careers. There will be people who will build their own agendas using you as a pawn. So make sure you read this thing, understand it. We are proposing that you disseminate the information, dear Mr. President, to every single Kenyan, so that every single Kenyan has a choice on their future. This has been Dear Mr. President on Vibes Radio and KTN News with Kwambokes, Mbunde, and Trixie. Bye, guys.